Give your shirt away.
And here we have the final second round matchup as Scott Lost got Chris Hero right on the eye with that, I believe it was a jumping knee.
This is what me and Scott Lost talked about. He needed to start strong and stay on Hero if he was going to advance.
Superman spear in the corner, catching Chris Hero unawares. Hook in the leg, 2, no! Chris Hero, of course, had a very tough match with Necro Butcher last night, still feeling the effects from that. I know he had a bruised rib. And Scott Lost, of course, wrestled the man to my left, Joey Ryan, his own tag team partner. And is there any ill will between yourself and Scott Lost, Joey?
No, we knew one of us had to win the tournament, so eventually we were going to cross paths if either of us were to win it. So it just happened in the first round.
Might as well have been early. And then the turnbuckle pad just fell off the middle rope on the close left side corner. I'm not sure if that was any of Scott Lost's doing or not, but I know last year, oh, look at that hard elbow shot, just leveled Chris Hero, the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World Champion, who, if you'll notice, he and Nick Jackson, both champions in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, did not come to the ring with their belts on. That's a show of respect by the champions to show that this weekend is entirely about the tournament and that their titles don't play into the proceedings here. And right now, Chris Hero looks like Scott Lost, I don't think even noticed that Chris Hero spit on him, but he did notice that power slam senton combination. But I was going to say, Joey, last year you defeated Chris Hero in the first round of the 2007 Battle of Los Angeles. And
who do you think's been coaching Scott about that?
That's what I was going to ask. Is there knife edge chop? Were you giving Scott any pointers, any ways to beat the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World Champion? Was undoing the middle rope turnbuckle pad, was that your idea? Would you like to take credit for that?
I will take credit for that.
Oh, big elbow shot from Chris Hero, takes Lost off his feet, and now the playing field seems to be level.
My idea, was to get Hero disqualified, which is what I did last year.
Yes.
But Scott, he has a little more pride than.
Soulbutt, I think, caught him low. Spinning round kick just rattled Chris Hero. Hook of the leg, 2 count only. Now, Joey Ryan, as you were coming out, I asked Kenny Omega this about the status of Nigel McGuinness and his face, which was bloodied by Brandon Bonham, and now he has his semifinal round matchup with Loki later on tonight. Will the effects you think of Nigel's injury will have in that match, and then what effect does Bryan Danielson's injury have, or I guess supposed injury, because TJ Perkins did work over his right knee very heavily in that matchup. What effect do you think that injury will have in the semifinal round match with either Scott Lost or Chris Hero?
Well, I mean, both those injuries. You got wear and tear on your body from a match is one thing, but when you've been hurt, especially, I mean, Nigel's eye is swelling. I saw it in the locker room, and so, if he's
not only will his breathing be affected, but his vision as well.
If his eye is closing, you don't want to be one eye against Loki. You don't want to be, in any handicap against
you could
Loki.
be blind to seeing those kicks coming.
And as far as Bryan Danielson goes, he is the best wrestler in the world. But even
with a knee injury, is he the best wrestler in the world?
Well, I guess we're gonna have to find that out by the end of the night.
And now Scott Lost backing Chris Hero into the ropes, fires him across the Irish whip, back elbow, rattles Hero and does take him down. Hero, I think, still feeling the effects from his match with Necro Butcher last night. Do you know if Scott was watching that matchup?
Yeah, we were both watching it because we knew that the winner of that would be his second round opponent.
Oh! The sternum of Chris Hero just rammed into that the ring apron, the frame, of course, underneath that ring apron. Uppercut from Scott Lost. And
I also hold the win over Necro Butcher.
That's true, you do. During your reign as Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World Champion.
Yeah, what happened to those days?
Scott Lost threads the needle and drop kicks Chris Hero on the side of the head. And you know what? Those days, last night was your opportunity. If you had beaten Scott Lost, you could be well on your way to becoming your second time as Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, having your second reign as Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World Champion.
Well, like I said, me and Scott, when we entered the tournament, we knew that if one of us were to win it, there'd be a good chance we'd come across each other in the tournament. So.
And dueling "Let's Go Scott" and "Let's Go Hero" chants. Oh my God! Hard drop kick on the near side of the ring. Chris Hero is extremely dazed. by that hard shot from Scott Lost. Now his face rammed into the ring apron.
Now, is the lack of Candice LeRae in this match also out of respect for the tournament?
I think the lack of Candice LeRae is out of respect for her walking pneumonia that she contracted. Oh, drop kick by Chris Hero. Shades of a young Chris Bosch on Patrick Hernandez in a match I know very well.
Yeah, you do, because it's the one where you lost your hair.
I think it was. Yeah, it was one of those.
That's when I used to watch PWG DVDs.
Joey Ryan not showing any respect. Maybe that's why you lost to Scott Lost.
Maybe.
You weren't watching his matches. You figured I know what he does. I'm his tag team partner.
Yeah.
I've seen his matches from the ring apron. What better place to see him?
Right.
Front row seat, but a little good that did you.
I'll be a little honest with you. I rarely pay attention during my matches.
Now Scott Lost looks like he's got Chris Hero set up on his knees. Could be going for that soul butt to the face, the big fat kill as he likes to call it. But Chris Hero is he's not out of this yet. But Joey Ryan, I know that you saw that kick coming. Do you remember it landing, or is it just lights out after that?
Actually, it was so fast I didn't see it coming.
Oh, look at that!
I think Scott saw that coming.
Elbow to the top of the head. Chris Hero boots him in the side of the face. Flipping neck breaker, driving Scott Lost down into the canvas. Now Hero kips up to his feet. He seems to be no worse for wear despite the punishment he has endured at the hands of Scott Lost. Now Hero charging into the corner. Big elbow shot. Takes Lost around. And the blockbuster. The buff blockbuster by Chris Hero. He used it to great effect on Necro Butcher last night. Through the table. There was no table in place for him to go through on Scott Lost, but still a very effective maneuver nonetheless.
Is that Buff Bagwell's legacy now?
I believe so. That and the Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
Yes.
And actually, out of the corner of my eye, not to bring the focus away from this match, I do see Nigel McGuinness returning from the concession area with a big bag of ice placed over his face, trying to keep the swelling down for his matchup later on with Loki. So I mean, that is definitely something to keep in mind. And that could big thrust kick, super kick from Scott Lost, hook of the leg, 2 count. Scott Lost very nearly had the champion pinned and defeated, but Chris Hero kicked out at 2. Now, if Scott Lost were to win this match against Chris Hero, but lose in his next round matchup against Bryan Danielson, as part of the championship committee with Dino Winwood, spear and rolls him up. 2. No, but Scott Lost comes out of it and trying for that Scorpion Deathlock, the sharpshooter, as he likes to call it, but Chris Hero had it well scouted, avoided his sunset flip. Chris Hero, though, rolls through to his feet, pulls the legs of Scott Lost. Scott Lost up to his feet. Oh! He just smoked him with that kick.
Yeah, I don't think Scott saw that one coming either.
But, I mean, that defeating the champion but losing the tournament still has to be a big victory for Scott Lost, because that would put him as the possible number one. Oh!
Come on, Scott, stay focused.
Scott Lost went to get his boot up, but Chris Hero had it. Great running Liger bomb. 1, 2. No, 2 count only as Scott Lost kicks out.
You'll excuse me for my biased commentary.
That's quite all right, Joey Ryan. I would not expect anything less from you. But I mean, would Scott Lost be satisfied with being the number 2 contender to the title after this weekend?
I guess you're right. If he does get the win over Chris Hero, that would put him in line.
I mean, granted, the man that wins this tournament could choose to have a shot at the tag titles at the Young Bucks. But, more often than not, that title shot is used. Oh, Scott Lost reversing it. Keiji Muto and Shinya Hashimoto style. The knee to the crown of the head. Oh, Scott Lost reverses the rolling elbow. And here we see the suicide over the top rope. Scott Lost over the top rope. Boatman crashing out onto the outside. And Joey Ryan, you know Scott Lost so well. Why does he continue to do that?
Well, he puts his body on the line. That's true, but also the effect it has on the other person's upside down going over the top rope. And I know that Scott has practiced that move, and he knows how to guide himself onto his feet to have less punishment.
Practice that move? You mean, was he shooting SLTV? Scott Lost TV when he was practicing doing that move?
I think by practicing it, I meant watching tapes of Bret Hart and Hakushi doing it.
Wow.
I almost said Bret Hart and Yakuza.
Mean Gene, Yakuza Machine. But now Scott Lost. Oh! face crusher on the outside. Chris Hero's face was just driven into the exposed concrete, and Rick Knox is checking on the champion to see if he is conscious. Scott Lost once again putting his body on the line. Oh my God, I have never seen Scott Lost do anything like that before, but that just goes to show you how much that this tournament means to the professional Scott Lost. Joey, get out the traps. We've got an infestation of rats here.
Wow. And the fans at home won't know what we're talking about.
No, but it's just important that you and I do.
Yes.
Scott Lost
first to his feet, obviously.
But you can still, he's wincing, visibly wincing and holding his head. I'm not sure how he landed off that ace crush.
Count out is a victory.
That's what TJ Perkins was going for. And Scott Lost maybe taking a page out of the Perkins playbook. 14 count, I believe. 15, senior official Rick Knox. 17.
Count Knox, count.
18.
Count Knox.
19. Oh, Chris Hero dives in. Scott Lost just wrenches him up. Body slams him down.
You got him, Scott.
Could be going for that elbow drop off the top, that high elevation elbow drop.
Space.
He comes down and found its mark. Hook at the leg, deep cover. 2, go! Very nearly a 3.
Stay on him, Scott.
Scott Lost picking up Hero. Drops him down with that.
Give it to him.
Oh, here we see the big fat kill. No, Chris Hero counters it. Oh my God, Joey Ryan, he just killed Scott Lost. Oh! Just drove him down, and now
come on, Scott,
into the hangman's clutch.
Fight it, Scott. Get to the rope.
Scott Lost taps out, and that is it. Chris Hero advances to face Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, in the